independence by adaptation and compensation. So it aims to increase participation through use of modification and adaptive and assistive techniques or devices to maximize the individual's potential and ability to perform certain occupation. So we'll be talking about evaluation. So the type of assessment methods for this FOR is through observation of client performance in selected activities, interviews about the client's daily priorities, client self-reports about his or her level of competence in daily activities. So the factors associated with an individual's functional status are the following. So characteristics of physical and social environments, equipment and economic resources, levels of supervision and assistance available, developmental expectations, motor process, and social interaction skills. So next would be for the next reporter kay she will be discussing about the standardized assessment tools for this FOR.
So for the standardized assessment tool, we have functional independence measure, FIM. So this is for 8 years old and above for adults. So it is functional outcome measure for clients with physical disabilities. The scores predict the intensity and extent of the assistance needed. And in this tool, there are 6 domains that are being assessed: the self-care, mobility, locomotion, sphincter control, communication, and social cognition. And there are 18 subdomains. So this assessment tool uses a 7-point ordinal scale, and this test is norm referenced and part of the Uniform Data System for Medical Rehabilitation. Next slide. So this is what the FIM instrument or tool looks like. So as you can see na diha ang mga domains, and Ate Lontok will be the one to discuss about it.
So for the FIM or the Functional Independence Measure, each item is scored on a 7-point ordinal scale ranging from a score of 1 to a score of 7. The higher the score, the more independent the patient is in performing the task associated with that item. For example, number 1, like ang score ni mo kay 1, it is equivalent to total assistance with the helper. Number 2, maximal assistance with helper. Number 3, moderate assistance with helper, and then so on. Ang last is 7, ang pinakadako nga score, which is complete independence with no helper. Next slide, please. So the other assessment tools include the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, the Functional Independence Measure, the Klein Bell Activities of Daily Living Scale, the Coleman Evaluation of Living Scale, the Clive Factor Assessment, the Bell's Test, Mini Mental State Exam, ROM Music Goniometer, and lastly is the Weinstein for Sensation. Next slide, please.
Okay, so for non-standardized, this allows the assessment of an individual's abilities, performance, and skills that cannot be quantified. So for a non-standardized test, we are to use muscle endurance testing. So we will be asking them to walk for 1 minute, to stand for more than 30 seconds, to walk on toes for 3 to 5 seconds, to climb 4 steps sa stairs for more than 8 seconds, from sitting to standing position, unya from higda nga position, unya mo sila ipa stand, and then next kay ipa open og doors, mo lift og weighted nga box, to sit for 30 seconds, to raise arms for 30 seconds, to kick a ball, and to hold their breath for 3 to 5 seconds. That's all, miss. Thank you.
Okay. What are you trying to test or assess if you're using the Rehab FOR? Do you still assess for the strength, endurance, and range of motion? Hmm? Guys?
Unsa to, miss?
For rehab FOR, what are you trying to assess?
Kuan, miss, katong characteristics of physical and social environments, like where the client functions.
Okay, what else? Key points in yung whole assessment if you're using rehab FOR.
To increase independence by modifying the activity, providing adaptive and compensations, miss.
That's for intervention. What about for your assessment?
We want to assess ilang performance, ilang occupations, ilang daily occupations, no?
Okay, it's as simple as that, no? You're trying to look at or you're trying to assess the occupational performance of your client or your child. Okay? So you want to see if independent ba ang child or not, if kailangan ba siya assistance or not, and unsan na parts ang maglisod siya. So maybe it could be because of the environment, maybe it could be because of performance components, maybe it could be because of the activity itself. So you're trying to look at the occupational performance in general. Okay, if you're using the rehab FOR, is that clear? Don't confuse it with biomech, guys, ha? Sige, continue mo share screen to next group.